Because I was gonna say, because I feel like we always do that, where it's just like you find one thing and like the plantar fasciitis is why you tore the Achilles, that's why you lose body.
This is because of this. This is the reason.
We low key are detectives on some shit for real. Low key are detectives on some shit. That's really how it's going. Trying to figure out what happened, how it happened. If it wasn't this, it might be the other thing. It might be this. Trying to see what's going on. But
This part hurts in your back because of this part.
we've been rolling.
I want to say this is episode 9. All right, we'll jump into it. All right, here we go. We got episode number 9 of the Coach's Compass, and it's our first live one.
Yeah.
Right? First time doing it together, trying to see how we mesh for this whole thing, but obviously got a special guest with us. We got Dion out of the Netherlands, as he likes to go with, no humble Dion, right? Has played for Leipzig, not Leipzig Kings. Right, Leipzig Lions, something like that, right? Leipzig Kings. He's played all over. Been in the States. Played for New Mexico State, right? Plays DB, and as he will tell you, the best DB here in Europe. But not only that, he also runs his own company called SWAT Performance. Now, tell us, what does SWAT Performance stand for?
SWAT Performance, man. That's basically a performance facility brand. Basically a place for athletes, by athletes, to get them like better, like all performance wise. Doesn't matter if it's on the field, off the field, and just everything that you're trying to improve on in life, basically. And by athletes. So hopefully like guys like me, coaches that been doing the sports or in the industry that been an athlete themselves, trying to provide for guys that want to be and basically help them out in their journey into athlete life.
So how did you get on this? So you're playing current still, right? We all kind of fall into this field because of injuries, because we see the way things are going, don't love it. What got you into this field?
It started since the beginning, like finding out what can make me better, basically. Like as an athlete, just trying to find out how can I be better at this? How can I do better at this? And then at the end of the day, you're trying to do your research, you're trying to like learn how to do stuff. And then at one point you figure it out and you're like, okay, this is what helps me out. So maybe it helps this guy out. Maybe I can help this guy out with this. And that's how it started, basically. Me trying to figure it out and trying to help other guys figure it out. Basically how to get better being an athlete, for sure.
Becoming a better athlete, obviously, we've talked to coaches across the board and just, hearing the difference compared to what we're used to in the States to what we've got going on over here in Europe. What do you think is your niche, right? Because you got strength and conditioning, right? There's so many fields you can go into, right? You can be on the weight room side, you can be on the conditioning side, or you can go into the speed side. Which do you think you prefer?
Okay. I prefer, for example, to make myself like all trades. That's for sure. I'm trying to go everywhere a little bit. But for right now, I'm trying to focus more like on the speed side, like working on like mechanics, speed. I would say the speed side. It's like trying to make guys faster, understanding the mechanics, understanding how to move, how to like get better into like different movements. And when it comes to movement and speed is one of them where I focus on too, for sure. But I like the weight room too, so that's where it all started. You can say it like that. That's where it all started, and then taking all of this stuff that you fix or getting the weight room to the field. That's where that transition. I think that's where I'm trying to come in, where to take the weight room stuff to the field. So, and then speed is where it's all connecting most of the time. So yeah, I think that's my sector a little bit more right now, speed side.
So speed kills. Everybody knows speed is one thing that you got to have in sports, and everybody's trying to teach people how to become faster. What is the hardest part about teaching Europeans about speed?
What's the hardest part? I think technique most of the time, like technique, angles, mechanics. Because I know like out here in Europe, you find guys like talented guys. You find guys that just like natural, like got speed, natural, but without a mechanical like issues or not issues, but more like how you can say it, movements.
Yeah.
They just be natural speed. They just got that speed naturally. And then if you just try to tweak something that they got, make that more efficient, I think they can get more out of it. So that's where I'm trying to pop in and help more guys to like work on the body mechanics, angles they're just trying to hit during running. So that's one thing I'm trying to see the difference in guys out here. That's mechanic wise. They don't have that technician into like field speed to get into that part.
So you got a guy that's just now coming in and you see that he doesn't have the mechanics. How do you break it down for him and get him to understand the angles, the ground contact, the force they put into it, and how to project, getting to hit all those different things. Like how do you get them to from the beginning to the end? You know,
How did I get it? I mean, I started like you said, I'm breaking them down all the way at first. Like let them do a couple of runs, record them, and show them what they're doing. Like let them see because most of the time when you run it, we just take off, you just go, just put force into it and just go. And the moment you break somebody down, they start to see, oh, that's what I do. It doesn't feel like that. Oh, that's how I move. Oh, I didn't think about that. But then you show them what they're doing, and then you try to teach them, okay, try to put your foot this way, try to lean more this way. And then after you teach them or let them show them like what they're doing, they starting to realize, okay, wait, that was not it, or that's it. And basically that's how I'm trying to do it. Trying to break them down first to like show them how they're moving. So you're trying to show them like what they need to do on the field, and then when they realize, okay, this is what I'm doing, or that's how it already started. Then make them realize like, okay, how you moving on the field. And then after they realize, okay, I'm stepping too big, I'm stepping too small, then I can teach them the right way to, okay, now you feel like you're stepping here too far. Let's break it down a little bit, like smaller steps. Let's take this angle or let's take this foot a little bit higher than what you're doing right now. And then that's how I'm trying to break them down first to show them how they're doing it. Then from the moment they see or realize, okay, I'm putting my feet here, I'm supposed to put it right here. That's how they like realizing I shouldn't be doing this. I should be doing this. Because most of the time, I think here and here, coach are just drilling guys. Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Instead of, okay, try to do this or put your foot right here instead of just, okay, let's do it again. Rapping till they get it right. Instead of, okay, do this, then you're going to get it right. And make them realize, like, okay, what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. And that's, I think that's a difference between teaching somebody like just run faster technique wise and just get your reps in until you get better.
Yeah.
So minimizing the time that you want to feel by just attacking the right stuff.
Right.
Basically.
To dive into it a little bit more practically, I know I was here when you were working with Arthur, and just like seeing the video you showed me of his first combine spray.
Yeah.
Obviously, most football players know to accelerate well, but like his late stages of acceleration and that max, more so the top speed, and seeing how he was reaching a lot. And you kind of showed me that video. I wasn't sure when that was recorded, and then watching him run with the free laps.
Right.
It's just like the strides that he made from that video to just like, can you speak to that? And
Yeah, I mean, Arthur is one of my guys that I've been working for like 2.5 years right now already. Most of those 2.5 years, we're trying to work on like a get off starts most of the time. And by that video that I showed him that he was doing, I mean, it starts looking good right now, like pretty solid, but we're not there yet. But like you said, the top end part, that's where we didn't work on that much because we were focused more on getting out and making sure your starts good enough so we can work on the top end part. So his stride length was not like the endurance of his run was not there yet because the start was good, and then he started to give up like the mid run where he couldn't like hold on to his speed. So when he doesn't hold on to it, now you're gonna just over accelerate your steps, trying to make your stride too long. So I was trying to break it down, showing the video that he was doing. Then he started realizing, oh yeah, I mean, stepping too far. I'll be reaching now instead of just running.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's how I started to like teach my guys, like show them what they're doing, showing them what they're supposed to do, and then make him realize, okay, I'm stepping too far. Okay, now I'm not supposed to step too far. Let me just make my steps shorter and just more powerful. And that's what I did with outside, just breaking down his top end speed into like dropping tens, and then flipping into 20s, flying 20s, and then from there on I did like a lot of technical work, like holding on, like endurance work, where he able to keep up with his speed and his mechanics still at the end of his run, instead of just make him run a couple of laps and then just how you feel tired and think, okay, let's do it again, instead of just working on his technique where that kick in instead of just start reaching. His technique start kicking in instead of start reaching. And I mean, we've been out here for like a couple of weeks and it improvement in like point from 245 to like 218, I think.
Yeah.
Changes times. And that was all technique wise. That was nothing about like running laps or taking reps. That was all technique, changing his technique, changing his mechanics to realize, okay, I'm stepping too far. Let me change my steps or let me change my stride lane where I'm able to like still run, but not get tired. Or still kicking like mechanical wise, mechanical steps and everything where he's like, okay, this is what I need to do now. Reach when I'm at top speed.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm trying to work with him right now and fixing his 40 yard where he's like getting out there to like coaches to see that where he's okay, he's still working and his mechanical stuff is on point.
Yeah, no, little combine, but it was actually really interesting watching him out there, like in real time. It kind of, even like how you were saying, like him being conscious of like, he would finish a rep and be like, yeah, I'm reaching, or, you know, I'm not going to stop reaching, or like, he would come back and finish and, you know, he would be able to feel like, oh, I was kind of like, I was a little bit too like, too tense, right? And I think the PR rep that he had was when, Dion told him like, coast and go 75%. 75% maximum
Relax.
and just relax and run instead of him straining like all the way through what was in that flying 10. And I was like, but yeah, a lot of really good coaching that I was seeing from Dion in that real time.
So then how do you get, you know, you got a guy that's reaching too far, maybe not taking enough longer strides, right? Not putting enough force on the ground. Like, what drills would you use to like teach that? Like, obviously you can show them video,
Right.
what they're doing wrong. You can tell them,
Right.
but at a certain point, like, how do you get the body to mechanically run the way that you want them to run?
I mean, I broke it down for him first to like it's steps where you got to put his steps in, just mechanical steps. So we uh let's say wicket strides, making his stride length way shorter where you gotta like make ground contact underneath his body every time instead of just stride length. Um and skips, a lot of skips, A skips, B skips, where he's like running into like not in place, but making his steps come back underneath of his body. Again, at top end speed, that's where you want to make your steps at underneath your body, where you're just not like pulling, but like pushing your body forward. That's where I break down the same thing. I break down the whole drill down to like steps, verge, marches, skips, bounds, and then from that point we just put it in one word, like wickets. Wickets is one of the major things at top end speed where you can know your steps, you know where to step, know where your body's aligned into running, putting cones, putting hurdles, and then now you really got to step between those cones and hurdles because the moment you step on it, over it, it's gonna let you know immediately, okay, you step too far or up, you step too late, or you step too early. And then when you put that on tape, you just realize, okay, I'm too close to this cone. That means I made my step too far, or I'm too late on my step. So now I'm too long in the air. So that's when wickets, I think, is one of the biggest drills that I do with my guys, and make them realize, okay, I need to step earlier. I need to step faster down. I need to come down faster where I push out. So I think wickets is one of the major drills I've been doing with my guys. That's like make them realize where to step.
Sure. And like a lot of guys, I mean, obviously watch things on YouTube, learn that way, or you know, from experience. But you also got the opportunity to go work at House of Athlete. Right? I was following the journey, right? I've seen you working at House of Athlete for a little bit. How long were you there? And then what did you learn from there that you brought back here?
house athletes. I mean, major component in my like journey, I would say. I worked over there really like I've been there for like 2 years now. Every off season when I'm done here playing and stuff, I go back out there, work out myself and learn. Basically, for me, it's like a learning experience. Shout out to Coach Jones. Um, he's been out there for like one of the mentors. I would say he's one of my mentors for sure. For the past 2 years, the first year I worked with like combine guys also. Mo Wells was out there. I would say Curtis, one of the top guys in like sports performance industry, and learned a lot from those guys, like teaching basically how to work with guys as well, like speed wise, weight room wise, and soaking it all in basically, and trying to bring all that like material back out here because of the industry, like performance industry out here. It's not that big, so I'm trying to bring out everything that I learned from there out here. At the same time, I mean, house athletes, it's a different experience because you're gonna be working with athletes all day, like from high school guys, from college guys, from pro guys, NFL, baseball, MLB, and you be having guys out there just like pro athletes. And you don't know what to do with them till you see them move. Then you can be like, okay, this is what they need. This is what they supposed to do. And especially having contact with those guys, that's where like, okay, they will tell you what they need. Or you will also realize, okay, some guys may come in with an injury or something. So you got to work on that first before you can just work on their body. And then that's how you can break down their whole journey as for like working with athletes. Because you cannot just be coming in guys and it's like, all right, we just gonna train you. But they have a whole program. They know how to deal with certain guys. So it's a whole different experience than just working with regular people, I would say. Um, but nah, house athletes is like it's a different way of like training. I'm saying it's an experience where you just, for me, it's like how I learn to like work with big athletes, I would say. At the same time, with like a teaching experience also, just to see how to work with guys, see how to work with guys. And that's a major component in my life, I would say. That's really performance coaching.
For sure. You see an infrastructure like that, in the States. Could something like that work over here in Europe?
Um, I hope so. It should be. Because I mean, again, we got athletes in Europe, but I think most of the thing is with athletes out here, they don't know how to. They don't know how to train. They don't know how to. But I think they do want to. So it's just they don't know how to. So I think if you would have one of those facilities or way of training, I think it would work. I think it would work for sure. I mean, let me say I'm striving to make something like that work.
Right.
I hope it does. Because again, the industry is pretty niche out here. And I think if you put something like that out here, guys would come, especially pro athletes that would take their sport serious. I think they would need or for sure make benefits of something like that out here.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, we talked about it on the car ride over. Just about like an infrastructure, like what we've had back in the States.
Right.
And you think about it, those guys have pro athletes coming in, they have college athletes coming in, they have high school athletes, and it's just like athletes are continuously coming to their facilities.
Right.
How do you replicate that over here when, some of these places have clubs that they play for, they offer them their gym membership? Or do you have a place like where we're at right now, in Ronan, right? They already have their own infrastructure. How do you make that so appealing over here that, you got athletes from different countries coming in? Because you can't say you can't go to you can't really go to a hair bar because there's no airport here, right? You got to fly to Budapest and where they stay. So you think about all the things like meals and they're getting around, and they're athletes too, right? You get pro athletes that come in, they want to enjoy the weekend, right? So I got to drive 45 minutes or catch a train to Budapest and stay there. And so like House of Athlete, and we're talking about XPE and Perform and Bonritos, like all those places that are in South Florida, they're close to things, right? So how do you make that appealing over here? and get it to actually run. Because you're European.
Right.
You know it better than us too, right? We kind of come from what you just saw at House of Athlete. So we trying to figure out what would it take to actually make that work here.
Yeah, it started with location for sure.
Yeah.
It started with location for sure. I mean, the one thing I think the reason why House of Athletes, Bomberito, is working is location. Florida, I think, why not want to go to Florida?
Warm all year round. You can see there's always people, right? You can chill it.
But location, I think, is one of the most important things. I mean, a place like Budapest, Budapest, let's say Amsterdam, the many spots, I think it would work because of, again, those are tourist places at the same time. And at the same time, those are spots where people would go for like a couple of weeks. I would go to Budapest. I'm not saying to party, but to look around to see what's going on. I mean, it's Europe. And I think location is one of the main things. And of course, the other thing is trainers. I mean, you want to go to a place where you know you're going to get your work, or you know, okay, if I go here, I'm going to get some good insight of what I should do or what I need to do, and information, for example, as for, okay, how should I train right now? Or what should I do right now? And if you go to a place where they will guide you, they will help you, and they will for sure increase your performance, you say that. Um, that's already like two things that you can cross off. Okay, location. I'm gonna go to Budapest or Amsterdam, perfect for a couple of weeks. I'm gonna go work with people. That's nice. Okay, that's information. That's major. That's people that you want to work out, especially out in Europe. So I think location and trainers. That's most of the thing, because I think when it comes to facility in Europe, I mean, you will find places where you can work out, but it's more, I think, of the trainers. That's where it's gonna like seal the deal, I would say. So where you get your phone info from, who's your trainer. Those two things, I think, is like a major thing out here in Europe. Going where and who,
Yeah.
where.
Yeah, I think that's because you just said it yourself, like you go there to train for a couple of weeks, but now you think on the business side of things, right? You got to have a lot of athletes coming in for a couple of weeks at a time. Like, how do you get people to stay, for a month? Because on top of that, now you got to think of, I think, the course, right? So you got to think of, do I have to alphas the general population too, right? So how do you get a place that's only for athletes? And obviously, we don't all know the answers yet. How do you get somebody to invest in it and open up doors, something like that? But do you see a place like that being over here in Europe within the next 5-10 years?
I'm gonna speak it into existence. So yes, I'm busy with one. I'm busy. Trying to create that environment. So for example, right now, like I can tell I'm busy with same thing, a club baseball place where they got like a big indoor facility where big turf field for like baseball, and then they got a weight room attached to it. So what I'm trying to do, what I think the way people got to do it is like the business side. You got to partner up with certain clubs, certain people to be able to run your stuff. Because, like you say, it's gonna be hard out just to like set up your stuff and start running, because you need people to come in, you need athletes to come in, you need your business to stay running. So I think in a couple of 5-10 years, there should be a facility out here where athletes from every sport can come in, and like baseball, football, soccer, where, okay, I know you can work with Dion. I need to work with Dion for a couple of weeks. Let me go to Amsterdam and stay there for a couple of weeks and work with Dion. So I think it is possible, but like you said, partnership clubs and teams, they gotta like starting to realize where if they want to improve into like their clubs or players or invest in their, let's say, people, they got to like start to put those type of trainers or performance coaches into places where they can develop those guys and help them out for sure. So I think in a couple of years, it should be set up like that, where there's a facility where you should be going to.
Y'all heard it here first. He said a couple of years in place, so you know where I'll be working at. But we also see that you are rocking G-Tech, right? Now, we talked about G-Tech a couple of times in our previous podcast, but you're also rocking SWAT with G-Tech.
Right.
What is G-Tech? Give the people the background on G-Tech, and then why the words.
So GTech is one of my sponsors. that I got going on, the partnership that I got going on. Basically, like I said, SWAT is a place like for athletes by athletes, and the same thing as GDEC. GDEC is like a clothing athletic company where they work with athletes to improve clothing, recovery, facility, everything what the athletes need. Let me say it like that. For me, the partnership is perfect because I know the owner. Shout out to Dylan. I'm working closely with him as for like clothing and not only clothing, like equipment that's for recovery equipment. For athletes, and I got a lot of input into the clothing brand as for like how stuff should look for an athlete, comfortable and at the same time fashionable, towards where you can just be rocking it in the gym, outside of the gym, where and it's comfortable enough so you can rock it anywhere. The partnership with me is for sure where if I need people or publicity or clothing brand where I can train guys where it could show our guys a bit, hey, this is what we're wearing. It's comfortable enough for you to be wearing it where you just come in shorts, sweaters, where you can wear it for in the gym, outside of the gym, and at the same time, like I said, basketball. And when it comes to recovery tools, also I'm working with him. That's for like the reboot, like recovery boots. I got them right now for my guys that I've been working out with after workout session. Putting them in so they can recover. It'll be like 30 minutes, 20 minutes. They hop it in after workouts, get a good recovery session in, and so they can go on with their daily life. They're not sore, something like that. So, now GTech is for sure a company that you got to check out. It helps, I think, any athlete that for where they like trying to improve in their athlete's life. And what is SWAT? SWAT is basically, like I said, it's my brand, sport performance brand. SWAT is stands for speed, weight, agility, and technique.
Oh yeah, check of all trades.
It is. I couldn't even think of the what is SWAT.
Like I said, yeah, I'm trying to be in everything a little bit. It's not only the weight room. It's only not only on the field. They're like speed wise, weight wise, agility, and technique. When you talk about technique, it comes into place into everything in the weight room, on the field, anything that has to do with sports. So that's where I got the brand from. Trying to set it up for a couple of years now already. I mean, it's already set up, let me say it like that. And basically, like I said, for the athletes, by the athletes, trying to bring in guys, helping guys with their athletic career, improving into everything they need on the field, and guiding them off the field too, as far like what's the best step for me to take? How can I do this? Do you have any insight of how can I attack this part of my career? And basically that's how I'm trying to implement SWAT into athletes' lives.
Yeah, sure. Now with the speed side of things, I know we talked a little bit about like measuring, like just doing top end speed and working on 40s and stuff. What are you using to, measure people's speed and help them get that? Like what equipment are you using? Because obviously you're at House Athlete, right? You got the treadmills, you got the curves, you got all these different types of pieces of equipment. I've seen some of the videos you're using a sled, using bands, and you got the speed, like the laser, just like what else can you use to help these guys get faster?
Right now, for example, I'm working together with one of my physiotherapists. I worked before with like free labs. So I've worked before with them, but trying to see how that works. Pretty accurate as for what I need and say like that. For me, it's most of the time when I get data like that is seeing improvement. That's what counts for me, seeing improvement, seeing the numbers change. As for not really what the numbers are, but are the numbers changing? That's one thing that I'm looking at. Yes, okay, you jumped to 40 today. Yes, you jumped a low, let's say like 38 today, but is the number not going up? That's one thing, that type of equipment I use. As for equipment, I don't really have a favorite right now, but Vault is one of the major ones that's like I had the chance to use a couple of times. Not yet in the facility that I'm trying to get, but coming soon to be for sure. I had a couple of guys reaching out for sure to give me some type of demos with Vault. but I'm lucky enough to have been using it or used it before. So I'm for sure looking into that to add that to my facility. Let me say it like that. And power plates. I think those are like good measurement tools too that I'm like using right now. Most of the time when my athletes come in, I'm using the equipments that I got with my physios that they let me use so I can see where my guys at. I'm sending them through the physios. Physios give me like the numbers that they got going on. And then from there, I got base numbers where they at. And then from those numbers, I'm just working off to see, okay, are those numbers improving every 4 weeks? Or are those numbers changing every 4 weeks? So power plates and vault equipment, those two are like pretty much things that I use as for working with athletes for right now.
Yeah, sure. So 5, 10 years from now, where is Dion and SWAT performance?
I'll tell you, big facility in Amsterdam. Big facility in Amsterdam.
Stay away from the red light district.
I mean, we got to get the scene sometime. I'm just joking. No, I think facility in Amsterdam. I think facility in Amsterdam where athletes are just coming in and out, helping them improve their performance career. You know, just that's one major thing that I'm looking forward to having like my own facility right now, and then having 50 plus guys. Say it like that. Humble beginning for right now, but 50 plus guys. That's where I tend to focus on, see how I can help them out for sure, and hopefully working with teams around us and to see, okay, how can I help them out? See how I can like improve their performance in their career in clubs. So I think big facility in Amsterdam, swap facility in Amsterdam.
SWAT facility to Netherlands, baby. That sounds like fun. Last thing I got for you, bro. What would be your one piece of advice for a new coach or coaches already existing in the strength and conditioning field or the sports performance field? What would you give them as their advice?
Um, let's say, do your research. Do your research. One thing, like a pet peeve of mine, like what I like or dislike from coaches is the. I mean, it's not the coach's fault. Like right now, it's a lot of like social media coaches, but
You don't have to shut up. You said what you had to say.
I get no shots. Do your research. That's how I'll come back to do your research. I mean, like, there's a lot of guys that I saw this on YouTube. I saw this on social media. This might help. This is gonna do this. But at the end of the day, like, what do you know about this, or how do you know, or education wise? Do your research, education wise, especially for coaches. It's not. I mean, for the past 4 or 5 years, every off season, I got some type of research done on like performance wise or is it like strength and conditioning wise to, let's say, upgrade my utilities to help somebody else. So I think that's one major thing I would say to new coaches: do your research, like, but try to learn something every time, because something that you don't know, somebody else knows, and you will always think you know it better, but there's always somebody out there that knows something better or does have a better technique to something. So research, I love it.
Love that. Love that. And that is episode number 9, Dion. We appreciate you, bro. Another season. No more humble Dion. Looking forward to see what y'all do this year down here in this Stoners. So guys, remember, hit the subscribe button, like, comment. You can always turn on the notifications too, so you have every episode that drops Tuesday at 8 a.m. And remember, if you got a chance, check out SWAT Performance. Also, check out the Enthroners as they go into the ELF for their second season, and let's see what they do. We're out.
Where did no